Hi, my name is Corey Quinn. I'm the founder of MyCoachMatch.com, where we match clients with great coaches. I'm here today with Dr. Marjorie Rand. She is a therapist and a life coach. Welcome, Marjorie.
Hi, Corey.
Thanks for joining me today. Could you tell me, why did you become a life coach?
Well, I think coaching came into existence, I don't know, about 15 years ago or so. But I think it's just exploded these days because people don't have the luxury of really spending years in therapy, doing extremely deep work. They have issues that are happening right here and now that need to be solved. And so I found myself more and more focusing in on specific issues with people as opposed to doing long-term depth psychotherapy with them. So that I call coaching. So I sort of switch hats back and
Okay.
forth.
And how long have you been a therapist?
I've been a therapist licensed for 35 years.
Wow, so you bring a lot of that, I bet, into the coaching practice.
Yes, absolutely. It's just a different direction. Therapy is more vertical and coaching is more horizontal.
Okay.
If that makes any sense to you.
Say more about that, if you would.
Well, with coaching, you are more problem solving, helping people get unstuck, working on accountability, and it's more narrowly focused. So it could be just one issue. Like I could be an anxiety coach for people and teach them how to meditate and how to breathe and do mindfulness and not talk about other things, just that one thing. So it's more focused that way. If you have accountability in coaching, that means they have to make contracts or agreements about what they're going to do. They have to report back to you. Therapists don't do that.
Got it.
But eventually, I think it's an intermediate step for them to be able to learn how to be accountable to themselves.
Great. So when should someone consider working with you as a coach?
Okay, I think when people are stuck, whether it's stuck in a relationship, stuck in a job that they hate, when they cannot figure out how to shift and change, they need help with a coach to show them the way to get there.
Help them to get past that
Stuckness, yeah.
Okay, great. Do you have a sense of who your ideal client is?
Well, ideally, I would love to have someone who is highly motivated and ready to change. It's not usually the case. Usually see their way out of the problem. That's back to the stuckness theory again. But I help people in a lot of different areas. That's why probably life coaches may be the best title, because it's like a lot of things. I'm a health coach. So people who have issues with well-being, health, nutrition, anything related to the body, that would be an ideal client for me. Chronic pain clients, because I have the tools to teach them what they need to do. They have to go home and practice. So the person would have to be willing to do the work.
So in your practice, in your experience, how important is a match between a client and a coach?
I think whether it's a client and a therapist or a client and a coach, I think the relationship is the most important thing that there is. If you don't have rapport with somebody or you can't form an alliance with them, there's going to be resistance and they're not going to be able to receive what you have to give them. So I think the relationship is the whole thing. And that's why having your website with therapists and coaches matching is just such a great idea.
Thank you. Thank you. I agree, by the way. So could you share a coaching success story?
Well, there are a number of them. Okay, one of them, I mentioned nutrition earlier.
Sure.
This is not so much about like losing weight, not that kind of dieting, but working with somebody who has lots of issues with food and giving them the tools that they need to do to be able to successfully get past their block. For instance, writing their food down, going to Trader Joe's, for example, or Whole Foods or something like that, and discovering the right kind of food to buy, keeping a record of your exercise, so forth and so on. I had somebody who could not lose weight, could not motivate herself to exercise, and she did one thing at a time, just what was doable. This week, just one thing, and changed their thinking from fat thinking to thin thinking, or away from a dieting mentality to a weight release mentality, a lifestyle change. And 1 week at a time, she added one more task, and she's completely transformed and lost 30 pounds in 2 months.
Oh, how wonderful.
But also it's exercising and meditating and coaching yourself. So that's one example. I've helped a lot of people get out of jobs that they absolutely hated to be in, but they just couldn't leave. So those are the type of thing.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time, Marjorie. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. It was a pleasure.
Okay. Thank